Hello, you're at my window again. You're asking me for advice, and today's advice is on what you need to know before you get a dog for the first time. Not cats, because I don't have a cat. I'll never have a cat. I'm scared of cats, but a dog. I was a first-time pet owner. I had like a baby shark at some point, like a little sharky looking thing. His name was August, I think. I don't know. Anyways, this is my first pet ever, my only pet, like creature. And I was thinking, just because sometimes some days are really difficult because of a reactivity, I was thinking like, what are things that I wish I would have known, or maybe a video that I wish I would have had at the time, especially as I'm seeing new dogs around the neighborhood and seeing them either like without leash or retractable leashes, which are the devil's creation, by the way. So yeah, I kind of wanted to make a video about that. So the first thing that I wish I would have known or would have been told is that a dog's breed is very important, because a lot of breeds, most breeds have either like genetic like predispositions to either behaviors or health issues, things like that, much like humans. I don't know why it never occurred to me that dogs are the same. Again, you might already know this, but I can guarantee you there's people that are like me like 4 years ago. So just knowing your breed, if you are adopting or getting your dog from somebody who is either not telling you what the breed is, or you don't know, or they're just kind of like a big mixture of stuff, try your best to maybe get like look at breeds and see kind of what that dog looks like more. Just try and ask questions if you can. A lot of people will know, shelters will know sometimes. Is just ask those questions and get familiar with the breed. I would also ask about behavior. What is this dog's behavior, right? I didn't ask any of these questions, and I genuinely thought that I was going to have a very mellow, cuddly, like chill dog. And Bella is actually the opposite. She is very, very pulley. she has reactivity issues. She's always high energy. She loves to be outside. Does not like to cuddle, barely at all. She is not very affectionate in that sense of what I thought in my head was like a stereotypical dog. I had no idea. I had no idea that there was such a thing as prey drive. And just how some dogs are just kind of like predisposed to having those certain behaviors, or like, I'm pretty sure she has some sort of like pointer in her, because she does this like weird like pointer thing, and points at things that intrigue her sometimes. And she's very chasey. She loves to chase things. So like if you ask those kind of questions, or are at least aware that some breeds or some dogs have that sort of, you know, behaviors or tendencies, it'll prepare you better, because you'll know what you're getting yourself into, right? At the bare minimum, ask about energy levels. What energy levels does this dog usually have? Because girls, if you are a homebody and you don't really like to be outside, and you end up with a dog that is always outside, wants to be outside all the time, is always full of energy, requires like at least 3 walks to be chill, you might need to look at getting a different dog. Because again, that's what happened with Bella. So just knowing and being familiar with that idea that every dog will be different and is different, and being prepared for that. For point number 2 is be prepared to spend time like training your dog. I would actually really recommend Zach George and a lot of his earlier stuff, or finding a series that he's done that kind of where he's working with a dog similar to your dog's temperament or something like that. Because we are not very consistent with training at all. So I mean, I'm sure we could do a lot better, but I do wish that I would have been told like that is a time commitment, and not all dogs are like programmed with it. Again, I know it sounds maybe really ignorant, but that's literally what I thought. Stay away from Cesar Millan. The hell? If there is somebody out there telling you to kick your dog to have them sit or listen to you, girl, stay away. Stay away. That is crazy. That is not a dog whisperer. That's cuckoo. Allegedly. In terms of training tools, I really like, we really like having a treat bag. and like a satchel with like a longer lead, just so that if we do let her roam, it's like still on a long leash, just because obviously like there's leash laws everywhere, and it's just for her safety, other dog safety, our safety. Other than that, we don't really use anything. She's not very receptive to a clicker, so clicker training hasn't really been effective with her. She is pretty receptive to some buttons, like talking buttons. She has one that says like let's go on a walk, and then she'll press it, and we'll try and take her out. But yeah, know that you will be spending time with training, and that you should. Training is good for your dog. Number 3, be prepared to spend money. That is something else that, again, I didn't know, because I just thought, I don't know, dogs didn't need to go to the doctor. Wrong. Ideally, you're checking their dental once a year and like an annual checkup so that they can get their yearly vaccines, and you need to have heartworm medication, flea medication. That way they are not as prone to, and they're safe from those hazards. Food costs money. We had put her on originally like a chicken and rice, like dry food. Turns out that she does not do well with chicken at all, and it turns out it could be like a pit bull thing, and her poop was not great for like months. And then we switched to a grain-free salmon recipe, and she's doing fantastic. You can definitely see, and like her coat too, like we've had supplements for her as well, but all that costs money. Like one bag of food is like almost hitting $60. I think that takes like 3 weeks ish to run out. So just being really prepared for that. We just took her to her yearly visit, and that was like $750. And again, when that bill came that first year, and we got like a dog care plan, that was like $65 a month, right? That's really expensive, especially for someone who may not have job stability or who may not be making a lot of money. I know some people might like, no, that's not necessary, that's extra, blah, blah, blah. It's necessary, girls, because I would not like for my dog to live a short life because I just neglected to take care of them, or their dental. Dental is a very important thing with dogs. So please be prepared to spend money. And I hate to be that person, but if you don't have enough money to cover your own basic needs, you should probably not be going and looking for a new pet, because it's very expensive. Like I said, just a bag of food is at least $60 a month, if not more. You know, it depends on the feeding patterns of your dog. Anything medical, those are really big expensive. Her dental that's coming up tomorrow, the estimate was from $650 all the way to $3,000, depending on how her dental checkup goes. Like, these things are very costly. I don't remember the price of the flea and heartworm medication, but still, that adds up. So make sure that you take care of yourself first. I gotta put me first type of vibe. And then if you have more than enough disposable income to properly take care of your dog, then by all means. But just be prepared, because I had no idea that it was going to be that expensive to take care of my dog. And if I wasn't willing to put that money forth, I was kind of compromising maybe her health, or her, you know, making sure that she was healthy year to year. So take that with what you will, but just be prepared. For point number 4, I want to talk about keeping your dog enriched. I feel like, okay, I don't know if this is like a hot take or something, but dogs are not like a when you want to kind of thing, because especially if you live in like an apartment and you don't have like a big yard or anything for your dog to entertain itself, really, especially if you're still working, and like you don't have the time to walk him all the time. That's why breed specific research is very important. You need to know what breed is right for you and what activity levels are right for you, because they need to be enriched, right? Like, you can't just expect your dog to sit at home for 12 hours a day and then you're too lazy or too tired when you come home from work to walk them. So like, ideally you're walking your dog every single day. Toys are great, like playtime inside, if you can't play with them outside and give them that, like, you know, high intensity kind of running for the ball or fetch or whatever. So just be prepared to spend time like quality enrichment time with your dog. For Bella, she is very high energy. She walks at the minimum 3 times a day. If that means we're getting up early, we're getting up early. If that means we were out late and we're coming back, we're walking her right after too. If we know we're gonna leave her for like a longer period of time, or just because, we will play with her at least once a day. We try to, unless it's like too hot or too cold and her paws might, be at risk or something. Other than that, we try and like it's at least 10 minutes of play at the bare minimum of playing fetch. We'll put her long lead on, we'll play fetch with her. That's where we just came back from. I took her to the nearby high school, and we played fetch with her for a little bit, let her sniff. Getting snuffle mats, those things where you can put treats under there and they can just lift the flaps up. Getting them little squeaker thrasher toys. Giving your dog things like the toilet paper cardboard thing that's on the inside when you're done with your rolls. Like all that stuff, getting to know your dog and genuinely paying attention to what they like or what they don't like, how they like to be enriched, is going to be very important. I really hope that if you're thinking about getting a dog, you know that it's not going to be getting basically another accessory for the home. Oftentimes I feel like that's kind of how people see dogs. It's just like, oh, the little bow tie to the perfect like all-American family, and it's not. I would say most dogs probably want to be enriched and are probably very bored. That's also a really good way to keep your dog healthy. There are a lot of dogs that we see constantly very overweight, and that's really sad because like they really don't have control over what they're being fed or anything, right? So just be prepared to spend that quality time and actually spend the time to get to know your dog and kind of, give him a good life. Thing number 5 that I want to talk about that's super important that I had no idea is that dogs can't eat everything. My entire life, when I did witness somebody that owned a dog, it was just like giving them scraps off the table, and that's actually not great for your dog because there's things like onions, grapes, what else? There's a bunch of stuff that chocolate, they can't have a lot of stuff. So you really need to be aware of what toxins or what things are in your home before you bring your dog in there. There's plants that, if consumed, can be toxic to your animals as well. And I had no idea. I'll tell you a story. So a couple years ago, Bella was just vomiting all the time. We didn't know what was wrong at all. We were like, can't figure this out. She's puking multiple times a day. And they didn't find anything really wrong with her. Well, come to find out, I'm pretty sure it was a candle that I had that had, I can't remember what the specific essential oils are, but it had a bunch of essential oils in it. And come to find out that the essential oils that were in there that she was likely inhaling all the time or something might have been what was causing her to be sick, because as soon as I stopped lighting that candle and I threw it away, behold, she was no longer sick. So again, it could have been maybe something else, but that's at that time, that's like the only thing that changed. That we noticed, like every time this candle's on, she's getting sick. And now that we took it away, she's not getting sick, and they couldn't really find anything else. So just being aware that you will have to basically dog proof your home, because there's things things that they can't have. They can't just be having every piece of food from the kitchen table. Just knowing that there's things that they shouldn't have access to, and that there's things that you will have to change about how you operate or what you do or what you believe to accommodate having a dog in your home. I think I'm gonna leave it at those 5 for now until I remember more. So just remember, there's gonna be a time commitment. You're gonna need money, some sort of budget for your dog. You're gonna need to know what in your home, is gonna need some fixing or accommodating to accommodate your dog. And just know that they need checkups. They're gonna need time for enrichment, and they're basically like children, like forever toddlers is what I like to call them. So just know that your dog is not an accessory, just another piece of furniture in your home. They're not just a little bow tie to your Christmas card every end of the year. Please, please, please know that you're taking in a living creature that genuinely depends on you for everything. So just take that for what it is and know that you are looking at a lot of responsibility, and it's been really fulfilling. It's such a pure form of love to have a dog, and to know that they trust you to meet their needs is such a wonderful feeling. So really don't take that for granted, and don't take that lightly. And I hope that I'm able to impart, if anything, am able to impart that a dog is a living creature fully dependent on you. And I really hope that you are not getting a dog to like band-aid fix a void in you, and you basically maybe putting them through misery just so that you feel less lonely or something. So it should be kind of like a give and take relationship. It should be a pretty symbiotic relationship to have a dog. So anyways, let me know if you have any other tips, because I'm still learning. I'm a dog mom for 4 years now, and I'm still learning every day, it seems like. So if you have any dog knowledge, or any cool dog stories, share them please in the comments. Yeah, I hope you like this video, and subscribe, why not? See you next time when you come back to my window.